In this video, we shall take few exercise on rules of inference for quantified arguments and learn how to draw conclusion from the quantified statements or sequence of quantified statements by using rules of inference. So look at the first example, which says use rules of inference for quantifiers to show that for all x px or qx and for all x negation qx or sx and for all x rx implies negation sx and there exists x negation px imply the conclusion there exists x negation rx. So we have to show that the sequence of quantified statements imply this quantified conclusion. Okay, so we proceed as usual. We take steps and we give the reasons. In the first step, we choose any one of the premises. So we take this premise, you can take any other or you can choose any other. I am starting with this. So if I take this premise, this says that there exists x negation px. That means there exists an element x which does not satisfy px. So negation pa using existential instantiation. So by rule of existential instantiation, we get negation pa, which says that a does not satisfy p. Then we take next premise, which is this: for all x px or qx, again using universal instantiation. This is universal instantiation. So this says that this statement says that, or this premise says, for all x px or qx is true. Therefore this is true for particular a because it is true for all elements in the domain, so it is true for this a also. Then using disjunctive syllogism from 4 and 2. So disjunctive syllogism means negation pa or negation p and p or q, the conclusion is q. This is called disjunctive syllogism. Again we take premise, next premise, which is this: again using universal instantiation. This is also true for any an arbitrary element a. Then disjunctive syllogism from 5 and 7. So this and this, qa negation qa or sa, give this sa. So again using disjunctive syllogism. And finally the next premise, which is this: for all x rx negation sx, again using universal instantiation, so that this premise is true for a particular a. Okay, because this is true for all x, so we can take any a from the domain. So in particular this is also true for this particular a which we have already taken. Then modus tollens from 8 and 9, which says that q p implies negation q. The conclusion is negation p. Okay, so sa and ra implies negation sa will give conclusion negation ra, which is by using modus tollens. What does it mean? We know that r is not true for an a, so we can write this as there exists an element x such that rx is x does not satisfy r. Okay, so this is the using existential generalization, because we know that r is not true for a, so we can write that there exists an element x which does not satisfy r. This is by existential generalization. Okay. Now look at another example. What relevant conclusion or conclusions can be drawn from the following premises? Every student has an internet account. Homer does not have an internet account. Homer means a person which remains at home. Maggie has an internet account. Okay. So to draw conclusion from this sequence of premises, we write like this. So we take Sx to be the premise X is a student. So Sx is a statement that X is a student. Ix is the statement X has an internet account. Okay. Then the premises are for all X, Sx implies Ix. That means for all X, for all the people X, if X is a student, then he has internet account. Every student has an internet account. So every X, if a student, then has an internet account. Then negation I Homer. Homer does not have an internet account, so Homer does not have an internet account. And Maggie has an internet account. Okay, so Maggie is one of the person from the domain, right? So to draw conclusion from this set of premises, we proceed like this. Again, we take any one of the premises. So we take this premise first. Then this is true for all X. Okay, for all X in the domain. So in particular, we can take Homer. So Homer is a student, implies he has an internet, okay, account. Universal instantiation using. Then taking another premise, negation I Homer, that means Homer does not have an internet account, which is premise. So again, modus tollens from second and third, negation I S implies I. Okay, this will give negation as Homer, modus tollens from 2 and 3. And finally negation S and I, Maggie, which is premise. This is a premise, so these two can be written like this: negation S Homer and I internet Maggie. So Maggie has an internet account. So from here we can see, or we can draw conclusion from simplification. Simplification says that P and Q, conclusion is P. Okay, then and if we write Q and P, then conclusion is Q. So from here we can get two conclusions: negation as Homer or I Maggie. But the proper conclusion is negation as Homer, because Maggie, nothing is specified about Maggie, whether he is a Homer or a student. Okay, so proper conclusion is negation Homer. So the conclusion is Homer is not a student, right? So proper conclusion is this. We cannot draw conclusion that in Maggie has an internet account. Why? Because nothing is said about Maggie. Okay. Then next example is, what relevant conclusion or conclusion can be drawn? All foods that are healthy to eat do not taste good. Tofu is healthy to eat. You only eat what you taste good. You do not eat tofu. Cheeseburgers are not healthy to eat. Okay, so again we convert these premises using these quantified statements. So Hx, food X is healthy. Tx, food X tastes good. Ex, you eat food X. Then the sequence of premises are: for all x, hx implies negation tx. So for all foods which are healthy do not taste good. If food is healthy, then it does not taste good. Okay, so these are the premises. Similarly, we can write tofu is healthy to eat, so h tofu. Then for all x, ex, if and only if tx. Okay, so you eat food which you taste good. Okay, so food which are good to taste, you eat them. So if and only if we can take, or we can take one-sided or implication also. Then negation e tofu, you do not eat tofu. And negation cheeseburger, cheeseburgers are not healthy to eat. Okay, so again we proceed like this one by one. So I take the first premise: for all x, hx implies negation tx, which is premise. Then since this is true for all foods, so we can take in particular tofu. So as tofu, that means tofu is healthy to eat but does not taste good. This is again premise. H tofu, tofu is not healthy to eat. Okay, tofu is not sorry, T is uh, food x taste good. Okay, tx is food x taste good. So from here we get using modus ponens. So p implies negation q and p. So using modus ponens negation t tofu, that means tofu does not taste good. Then we take another next premise: for all x, ex, if and only if tx. So in general we take e tofu. Okay, you eat tofu if and only if tofu tastes good. Universal instantiation from 5. Then this fourth and sixth using modus tollens give negation e tofu. So look at fourth is negation t tofu, that means tofu does not taste good. E, you do not eat, you eat tofu, implies tofu tastes good. So these two will give negation e tofu, right, by using modus tollens. Okay, but here you see that we again get the conclusion which is one of the premises. Okay, so starting in this way does not give any conclusion. So we start over again from the first step. Okay, so whenever this happens that we get the conclusion as one of the premises, we look for another way. So again starting from step 1, universal instantiation from 1. So here for all x, hx implies negation tx. So for any arbitrary c, this is true. Then universal instantiation from 5. So step 5 we take, this is also true for any c. This is true for all x, so this is true for any c. Then writing contrapositive of this, ec implies, so you can replace this if and only by implication, ec implies tc. So a contrapositive is negation tc implies negation ec. Okay, then again using hypothetical syllogism using 8 and 10. So sc implies negation tc and negation tc implies negation ec. So sc implies negation ec. So hypothetical syllogism using 8 and 10 we get this. Okay, so here you can see whenever you have this, for any food Since C is arbitrary, because we have taken C as arbitrary element, so SC implies negation EC means for all x, HX implies negation EX because C is arbitrary. So this is universal generalization. So this is the conclusion. This is the proper conclusion. And look at the last premise, negation H cheeseburger. This does not give any conclusion because it says that cheeseburgers are not healthy to eat. So cheeseburgers are not healthy to eat. It doesn't mean cheeseburgers does not taste good. Okay, we cannot conclude that cheeseburger is not healthy to eat, then cheeseburger does not taste good. So this will not give any conclusion. So here the proper conclusion is every food that is healthy you don't eat, or you don't eat healthy foods. And the last one, negation H cheeseburger, you can ignore it. So note that negation cheeseburger is a false hypothesis, or you can say we can ignore it. This is useless. So no conclusion can be drawn from it. Therefore proper conclusion is this: you don't eat healthy foods. Okay, because this last premise has no meaning. Cheeseburger is not healthy to eat. It doesn't mean that cheeseburger doesn't taste good. Because if food is not healthy, it may or may not taste good. So this is applicable to cheeseburger. Now look at another example. What relevant conclusion or conclusion can be drawn? So first premise or first statement is all insects have 6 legs. Dragonflies are insects. Spiders do not have 6 legs. Spiders eat dragonflies. So we convert them into quantified statements like this. Ix, X is insect. Lx, insect, X has 6 legs. Dx, X is a dragonfly. Sx, X is a spider. And Exy, X eats Y. Then the sequence of premises are: for all x, Ix implies Lx. That means if X is an insect, then it has 6 legs. For all x, if X is dragonfly, then X is insect. For all x, if X is spider, then it does not have 6 legs. And for all xy, if X is a spider and Y is dragonfly, then X eats Y. So to draw conclusion, we proceed as further. Again we take in step 1 any one of the premises. So we take these two premises. Okay, for all x, dx implies Ix. So using universal instantiation, this is true for any arbitrary C, any arbitrary insect C. See here the domain is set of all creatures. We can take set of all creatures or set of all animals. Okay, so this is true for any arbitrary C. If any arbitrary C is a dragonfly, then C is not an insect. C is an insect, sorry. Then next is premise. This premise, for all x, Ix implies Lx. So for all creatures or animals, if X is an insect, then X has 6 legs. Okay. Again using universal instantiation, since this is true for all x, so this is true for particular C. So any arbitrary C. So we can take this C. So using hypothetical syllogism, using second and fourth, we get DC implies LC. So DC implies IC and IC implies LC will give DC implies LC using hypothetical syllogism. Then we take next premise, for all x, Sx implies negation Lx. That means for all x, all creatures, if x is a spider, then it does not have 6 legs. Then universal instantiation again. from 6, it is true for any arbitrary C. So now we want to combine SC implies negation LC and IC implies LC. From these two results, we want to combine these two. So we write contrapositive of 4. So negation LC implies negation IC. So using these two, SC implies negation LC and negation LC implies IC, we get the following conclusion: SC implies negation IC. Hypothetical syllogism using 7 and 8. Then this is by universal generalization, because C is an arbitrary creature or animal from the domain. So for all x, if x is a spider, then it is not an insect. Okay, so this is the conclusion: spiders are not insects. Right, now look at the last one, last premise. So last premise will not give any conclusion, because we have this EXY, two space predicate. So we don't have any rule of right now for these such kind of statements. So this will not give any conclusion. So proper conclusion is spiders are not insects and spiders eat dragonflies. You can take this information as it is. So spiders are not insects and spiders eat dragonflies. Now look at another. Explain which rules of inference are used for each step. All movies produced by John are wonderful. John produced a movie about coal miners. Therefore, there is a wonderful movie about coal miners. So, as usual, we convert this argument into quantified form. So, let Mx, movie X is produced by John. Cx, movie X is about coal miners. Wx, X is wonderful movie. Then the argument is for all x Mx implies Wx. Okay, all movies produced by John are wonderful. There exists a movie X such that Mx and Cx. Movie is produced by John and it is about coal miners. Then conclusion is, therefore there is a movie X which is wonderful and is about coal miners. Right, so this conclusion we can draw from this we have to show. So again, using step 1, we can take any of the premises. So there are two premises, we take this. So there exists an X, that means this is true for particular A. So there exists a movie A which is produced by John and which is about coal miners. So this is called existential instantiation from 1. Then this is MA, which is simplification. Simplification means P and Q implies P. Then taking the remaining premise, for all x Mx implies Wx. That means for all movies X, if produced by John, are wonderful. Then this is universal instantiation. Okay, so from all domain of all movies, here domain is domain of all movies. Okay, so this is true for all movies, therefore this is true for A. Okay, so this is WA using modus ponens. So modus ponens from 3 and 5. P and P implies Q gives Q. Okay, then simplification using second. So using second you can simplify CA. So WA and CA, you can combine them using conjunction. So we have one conclusion WA, another conclusion CA, you can combine them. So conjunction using 6 and 7. So this is for any arbitrary A. Okay, so not arbitrary, which is particular A, because all movie, if you can write this as there exists X such that Wx and Cx. X is wonderful movie and it is about coal miners. See, we cannot write for all x because all movies are not wonderful and about coal miners. So you cannot write for all x, wx and cx because all movies are not wonderful and not about coal miners. So this conclusion WA and CA, from here we can draw this conclusion only. We cannot write for all x. You know that there exist x, wx and cx, and for all x, wx and cx both have different meanings, because if we read this, there exists x, wx, cx, that means there exists an x, a movie x, which is wonderful and about coal miners. But if we write for all x, wx, cx, then it will mean that all movies are wonderful and about coal miners. So we cannot draw this conclusion from here. Okay, though this A is arbitrary, but we cannot draw this conclusion that all movies are wonderful and about coal miners. Therefore we should write this like this: there exists an x such that wx and cx. So conclusion is this: there exists a movie which is wonderful and about coal miners. Now look at the next example. Identify the error or errors in the argument that supposedly shows that if for all x px or qx is true, then for all x px or for all x qx is true. So this is the argument which somebody has written. So we have to find the error in this argument. So starting from first step, for all x px or qx, this is the premise, this is correct. Then universal instantiation from 1, this is also correct, this is true for any arbitrary c. Simplification using 2. So here we have an error because simplification is not applicable to disjunction, simplification is applicable to conjunction only. So PC and QC implies PC, not PC or QC implies PC. So first error is here. Then for all x px RHS QC, simplification using 2. Again this is wrong because simplification is applicable to conjunction only. Then this is premise, universal generalization, sorry, this is universal generalization from 4. This is true because C is an arbitrary element. So you can combine for all x px conjunction from 4 and 6. So this one and this one. So this is from the conjunction of 4th and 6th, which is also wrong. Again wrong because conjunction is applicable to and. So the steps 3 and 5 have errors. Step 3 and 5 have errors as simplification applies to conjunction, and also step 7 has error as it is not conjunction, this is the disjunction. Okay, so here this result for all x px or for all x qx does not follow from 4 and 6. Okay, so these are the errors in this argument. So this is how you use rules of inference for quantified arguments to draw conclusions. Okay, thanks for watching.